right? Because there's not a lot of great attacks you can hit from here. There's a few, we'll work on a couple, but not a ton that you can really do from up here. So all we're gonna work on first is clearing this knee and then flattening him out. That's gonna be step one and what we wanna do. So I'm gonna use my elbow or I'm gonna use my hand to clear this knee, and I'm gonna look to get chest to chest with him, scooping his head with my top side hand here. Now I'm gonna look to scoop my hips in, walking my knees into him. My goal is to get his back flat on the mat. Once we get him flat on the mat, we're gonna go over a couple different options. Option A is passing straight to the mount. So the easiest way to do that, my head side hand, if I have the pajamas, I'm gonna grip this top little cuff of those pajamas. I'm gonna use that to pull him in and turn that chin away from me. Now Austin's gonna hold his half guard here and he's gonna be looking to move, right? So all we're gonna look to do is get our hand to the top of this thigh. Our back foot slides up to the butt, driving this knee across to the mat. It's a simple but not easy pass, right? Good news with this one is, if you can get it to work, you can hit it on almost anyone, right? Boom, I clear this, I get him over, I get him flat on his back. Now, I walk this bottom knee right until it hits him right in the hip, right? I'm using that shoulder pressure to keep him flat. Now, I'm not driving over the top of him to accomplish this. Keeping a good base, and I'm pulling him into that base to keep him flat. My outside hand, I'm generally using to block and block. My foot comes up and drives across. Now, worst case scenario, Austin's gonna clamp onto that ankle. All you have to do at that point, walk this hand up, use your back leg to peel, and open that half guard. Benefit with that, guys, is this is a simple, hard to mess up pass. It just takes a little bit of patience and a little bit of pressure. So we're here. I'm in the half guard on this side. Boom, Austin's knee shielding, that's great. Boom. I get here and I pull Austin in and walk my hips up. Once we're here, my back foot comes up, which is naturally going to let your knee come out that little bit. If you need to, you can open those legs. Use that, driving across to mat. Simple, easy step. George.
If they either have or you can tell they're going for the outside underhook, if they get it or close to getting it, are you bailing or are you just going to wait until you can address it first?
When I get to here, if they start going for this outside underhook, I'm not particularly worried about it if my knee's out. My knee's still in and they get that outside underhook, that's going to be where I start to address it, even if I go to that back leg. And once that knee's out, he can have that underhook and start sitting up into me, because it's going to allow me to drive my knee across anything. But until that top side knee's out, I have to control that underhook.
So like at first, when you go for that initial chest to chest before you start to take mount or anything,
yes.
Are you going to pinch that so they can't really get under there?
So when I'm here, guys, as soon as I clear this hand goes from clearing to shooting up his thigh. Here. Kind of runs that racetrack, so that way he's flat. Once I get him flat, that's when I start to pull him into me, and that's going to allow me to use this hand. Because if Austin starts fighting for this underhook here, boom, I can keep this elbow in. As soon as this knee comes out, boom, it becomes less of a priority at that point. Does that make sense? Other questions on that? All right, driller out. 1, 2, 3. We get here. One thing, Shane asked me this and I wanted to make sure I point out. Realize, guys, if I just sit here and I go, please clear your knee, it's never going to work that way, right? So the way this works is if we're here and I'm hand fighting with Austin, I'm moving in, I'm pressuring in, then I use that to clear. That push, pull, natural motion is how you're going to get that to work. Now, same thing, I'm going to drive in here. But once I get here, I'm going to pull him in. But for whatever reason, I don't feel like I can drive my knee over. just not working for me. It's just not there. I'm just not confident in it. So what we're gonna do, our bottom knee is gonna slide into the hip, and we're gonna turn this way. Now, for this to work, Austin doesn't get to look me in the eyes. I'm driving his face across. You don't get to look at me. Here. And I'm driving this knee right on top of his hip, and I'll spin for a second. And Austin's gonna latch onto my leg here, right? That's great, I appreciate it. All we're gonna do, I'm gonna keep my elbow in with my top hand, and I'm gonna use it to break this lock on my legs. And I'm gonna back step with a whole lot of effort and force here. Boom. Here, pop. And I base here, and I keep my hips heavy, because if Austin doesn't suck at jiu-jitsu, he's gonna drive into me. And I have to be able to hold and keep him here. The second he relieves that pressure, all we're gonna do, pull his knees across, I step over. Back step, overstep. It's a good motion to figure out in life, because this can be applied in a lot of different positions, especially while in half guard. So I'm here, me and Austin are moving, I don't appreciate what he's doing, boom, I get him flat. I don't like what's happening here, so I turn my knee in. Austin's gonna keep his half guard locked because he doesn't suck at jiu-jitsu. We're gonna be hand fighting in here. All I'm gonna look to do is cheat my foot out, and as soon as I can, I like to grab on the inside of this knee, peel it open, and kick your leg out. As soon as your leg gets out, post hard, shoulder pressure in. If they drive into you, ride the wave. As soon as you feel that pressure, relieve, overstep to mount.
All your weight in your shoulder.
Yep. Tuck you and your chin and your ability to chew well for the next week. If you do this well, your partner at the end of the night should kind of be like, yeah. That should be kind of the feeling they should have by the end of the year. Because my shoulder pressure, you know, Carlos used to describe 1,000 kilos. You have to have that 1,000 kilos of pressure right here. And that's what I want. I want him, he doesn't get to look at me. He doesn't get to look where he wants. You look where I tell you to look. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me, Danny. That's the type of vibe you have to have when you're doing this. So we're here. Boom. I'm working. I clear, right? Boom. As soon as I get here, I get to that hip. Now, I'm going to move this leg so you can see it. My knee, I'm driving just over his hip bone here. Keeping this toe active. This foot stays in, Austin strapping. I don't appreciate that. I open those legs. Boom. If he doesn't face into me, great. I step over. Secure your mount. Get your 2, then your 4. Then you work for violence as needed from me.
So why is it that you don't keep your knee, so your toe stays active, so your knee stays up?
Yes. So the reason
Your
that
knee go down and your toe stay active at the same time if you're flexible enough to do that? It's not.
so when I'm here, I want to keep my pressure on top of this hip.
Okay.
Reason being, if it's below that hip, he's going to start to walk into you. See how he can start to approach that pressure? So that's why I'm coming here. One, it controls this hip pin, which is going to allow me to fight this leg a lot easier, which then means the only problem is top. So it's how you start eliminating problems. So if I'm here, even if I keep this toe active, like let's say I'm here, now I'm fighting a lot more of his legs than I need to. Where if I'm here, it's starting to bend him a little bit. So think about it this way. I got his head going this way, I'm pulling his shoulder this way, driving that knee into his hip. Austin, how comfortable is your hip? It's wonderful, isn't it? It's that C-cup pressure that I'm trying to get twist him up. No one's strong when their spine's twisted. We have a power lifter in the room today. Whenever you go to do a power lift, does your coach look at you and go, okay, Haley, here's what I want you to do. I want you to bend your spine in all sorts of weird and wonky angles? No, right? Neutral spine position, head up, shoulders back, right? That's how you stay physically strong. How evolution or God created you to figure it out, right? Doesn't matter which one you believe in, that's how it all works. So when you get here, use it. I'm going to twist him up as much as I can here, because the second he latches on here, once I get him twisted up, It's real hard to hold on to that leg. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy to get this foot out. But when you do, it makes your life a whole lot easier. Okay.
So it's like when you do the back step, you have to go back step fast to the ground.
No, I can sit in that back step. So, realize when I back step here, like let's say I get here, boom, back step, I don't have to overstep, right? I can come here and go, okay.
But if you do want to go to not to the foot or not,
Because I'm here, once I have this pressure here, I can sit here for a second. If I want. Now, I wouldn't hang out there. Don't spend 2 minutes there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that. Because most people are, you know, it's the 8-second bull ride. You have to ride there for a second. They're going to buck, they're going to move, and then you're going to feel that, okay, they'll concede the position. Once you feel that concede, boom, pass it. That's what I'm going to look for. It's kind of that, oh, they're shaking, they're moving, they're shimmying their hips, they're trying to do whatever they can to regard. You'll feel the breath. That's when I do it.
okay. And then the other one is when you're using your hand to push the leg away, are you in danger? Is your arm in danger for anything about that?
Not particularly. So I get here, right? I'm here. This arm, not. They're going to try to. What they're going to be trying to do is dig an underhook and drive back in.
But if your leg is safe, okay, and he comes back.
Yeah, I mean he can swing his legs up if he wants.
Okay. But okay.
Great, yeah. I mean, not. Could he pull some wonky wrist lock? Yeah, but don't suck and you should be fine.
But if you wanted to, and you sat up enough, and you went back enough, you could put you in a triangle.
You can do an inverted reverse triangle, but nobody can.
Could he? Yes. If you get caught in that, I'll make fun of you. Put it that way. That's how low percentage of a movement is. Like there's not like if I have shoulder pressure here, I can leave this here for as long as I want because the second he tries to bring those hips up, stop moving. Stop resisting. Right? I just drop my shoulder into you. I'm going to be able to kill. Think about it. How many moves in jiu-jitsu can you hit well when your neck's twisted up like this and you can't move it? Very few things good are going to start to happen. So they're going to have to address that first, which is going to allow me to address the hand. Does that make sense? Other questions? All right, so we're here one more time through. Boom, we're hand fight. Boom, I clear. I get that in, I get my hip in. Once I get my hip in, I start to hand fight. Remember, guys, and you can use this bottom leg as a lever as well. Back step, and when you back step, don't straight leg it. Back step, knee in the air. Boom, I post here. He starts to move and shrimp and do stuff, that's fine. He concedes, boom, you can high step. If you don't like high stepping to mount, walk it back to side control. Alright, 1, 2, 3. I'm in the half guard with Austin. Boom, I get here. All we're going to look to do, instead of controlling the head, I'm going to look to get this hand across to his hip, and I'm going to look to turn myself all the way towards his legs. Here. Right? Now, my bottom leg, I'm still looking to get it into that same position, but this hand, I'm looking to drop my elbow back into his armpit here. Austin's going to try to hold that half guard. Same thing, guys. All we're going to look to do is get our foot out. Boom. Here. Back step. But instead of overstepping this time, all we're going to look to do is walk north-south. So we're here. Boom. We clear. And let's say for whatever reason I don't feel confident in controlling his head. Austin's good at jiu-jitsu. He frames up. I can't get here. Boom, I'm here. Get that knee in the hip. Here. I start scooting myself away. Back step. Walk myself to north-south. Same concept as the last one, but instead of controlling the head, we're going to that reverse side and control.
There's some kind of weight distribution that you need to watch out for not to get sweet.
Yeah, so biggest thing here is when I go to reverse side here, We are not WWE. Right? Not what we're doing, right? I have to keep my head and my chest down here, because if they start bridging into me, I have to be able to keep my base. So that's the biggest thing, is you cannot lean in this. Have to keep your head and your chest down. Boom. And walking either to side or to north-south, either way. Biggest thing is you can't do like the WWE lean back, head up, chest up here. Keeping that low center of gravity, that low base. Other questions on this? Same concept as the last one, and realize, guys, you can't backstep, overstep with this too. I'm just showing you option B.
Question on north-south in general. I like doing this a lot, and I feel like I don't really know how to stop it when other people do it on me, or like what to tell people to do. If like when they kick their legs back, when you get to north-south and kind of get over you, like what do you control to stop it? Is it just full chest to chest, or do you get their hips? Or
Unicorn horn through their solar plexus. So if I'm here, I'm in north-south, right? Austin tries to start doing that.
okay, you say so.
You don't get to move. I'm going to pin them to the mat with my unicorn horn straight through their solar plexus. Alright? Because if I get here and he starts really bringing those hips over my head and starts doing stuff, boom, I get here, he can bring those hips up as much as he wants. His head can't move and his chest can't move. He's not taking my back. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, a lot of people try, I do that. Because I'm either going to do the backpack escape, or I'm going to do the forward roll escape. Either one. But the second you pin my chest to the mat, I can't do either of those because I have to move my chest to do both of them. So, you do that to them with a little bit of, fuck you, and they stop doing what they're doing, and then you move on. Like, if I'm here, and Austin starts doing that, I just add a little extra, he's going to put his legs back down, and then I can start attacking things. Alright?
I have a question.
Yes.
So you said a forward roll escape for who?
For me.
For how?
So, Austin has me in north-south position, right? So, boom, I get here, I'm going to get both my hands out, right? I'm going to scoop here. I'm going to lock my hands under his chest.
Uh-huh.
Here.
Oh. Gotta ask, because I have no idea.
I've done that to a lot of people. And if you've ever seen the Magician Escape, which is where I come out and on top of you, that's the other one I do. Yeah, there's an armbar from that as well. Black belt magic. Listen, it's all secrets. They gave you a little binder. It's great.
It's almost the most demoralizing thing I think.
What, the backpack escape?
Yeah.
It's up there with butterfly.
Like that breaks me in a way that hurts
Listen,
my heart.
I'm gonna be real honest. There are certain things I do to you guys just because I can.
You're pretty aware of that. It hurts me.
It,
I go home less a man.
listen,
Just so you know.
and here's the worst part about that. There are people that do that to me. So, listen, I would love to tell you it gets better. Last time Hornbuckle was in town, he helicopter sweeped me and spun me like I was a plate. So, I would love to tell you it gets better. It doesn't. Life sucks all around. Remember, that's just how it goes. 1, 2, 3.